This is a quick review of my new Predator 2000 watt portable inverter generator that I bought at Harbor Freight. I found a 20% off coupon on my phone while I was standing in line and ended up saving $100 at the register. After unboxing the generator, I first had to add 13 ounces of 10W30 oil. To access the oil fill and the air filter, you use the included toolkit to remove the 3 screws that hold the left side panel on. It's not the most convenient way, but not difficult at all. The break-in period is 30 hours, after which time they recommend you change the oil. I love 1-quart oil changes. The oil is changed by draining it out of the same hole. Just tip the generator into a drain pan. It only weighs 47 pounds, so it's easily carried with one hand. The generator claims 2,000 watts starting power and 1,600 watts operating power. It features a low oil shutoff feature as well as an overload breaker. There's also a green light that comes on when the generator first starts to let you know that the machine is producing output power. To figure the load that you're creating, use the formula volts times amps, which equals watts. Most appliances and tools will have a rating on them so you can determine if the generator can handle what you want to plug in. Remember to also use the shortest extension cord possible to minimize the resistance in the line. To put 2,000 watts into perspective, I used this generator on a construction site and ran a small 1/3 horsepower Cobalt air compressor for a trim nailer and a DeWalt 10-inch compound miter saw at the same time without tripping the overload breaker. I only tripped it once while cutting 5.5-inch trim on a 45 and pushing the saw pretty hard. When I first started the miter saw, it pulled pretty hard on the generator, almost making the saw feel like it had a soft start, not like when the saw was plugged into household power. I just let it come to operating speed for about 2 seconds before I began my cut, and then everything seemed to run fine. The lag is more pronounced when the generator is on economy mode because the generator has to rev up, but only takes about 1 second. When using the saw for multiple cuts, I just left the generator in regular mode. The noise level is rated at 65 decibels, so you can easily have a conversation or talk on the phone while standing next to it. Conversation's typically about 60 decibels, and normal traffic is about 70. This model is known as an inverter generator. The main difference between an inverter generator and a conventional portable generator is the type of power they generate. While conventional generators only produce AC power, inverter generators generate power in 3 phases. First, high-frequency AC current is converted to DC, and then it's inverted to stable AC power. When compared to conventional portable generators, inverter units make less distortion due to cleaner voltage, which is very important when using sensitive electronic devices like laptops or televisions. They're also more fuel efficient due to lower fuel requirements and produce lower carbon emissions, making them more eco-friendly. In addition to having 2 120-volt receptacles, there's also a 12-volt receptacle that has an included charger cable with alligator clips, which will handle up to 8 amps. The 12-volt charge output is not regulated, so it's recommended to use a charge controller. I put my multimeter on it and got a reading of about 12.6 volts. However, when I turned off the ESC mode, the voltage shot up to about 17.4 volts. This fluctuation can potentially damage equipment, so this is why a charge controller is recommended to smooth out the voltage spikes. The generator's inverter technology kept the AC voltage at about 123.5 volts, plus or minus 1/10 of a volt in either mode. There's a recommended process to prepare the generator for long-term storage involving removing the spark plug and adding a little bit of oil into the spark plug hole. But personally, I would just tip the generator over, drain out all of the gas, and let it run until it stalls without anything connected to the receptacles. As the engine is stalled for fuel and revs up and down, the voltage can spike and possibly damage anything plugged in, so make sure it isn't powering anything at that time. I think that a fuel shutoff valve would have been a nice touch, but unfortunately there isn't one. Once the carburetor has run dry of gas, there's less of a chance to have bad fuel gum up the carburetor while it sits without being used. As a rule, I never let any of my equipment sit with fuel in the carb after I'm done using it. And now for the pros and the cons. The cost is a big factor, It's 1/3 the cost of the comparable Honda generator. I'm very impressed with the performance. It's quiet at 65 decibels. I like that it has a fuel gauge and that it's light, weighing only 47 pounds. There's also an optional extended warranty available. As far as the cons, there's no onboard 12-volt charge controller. It would have been nice to have a USB charging port or even a fuel shutoff valve, and unfortunately it's hit or miss with Chinese quality. I think it's a perfect size for off-grid camping. It can power a small travel trailer with a TV, microwave, and LED lighting. It would be great for tailgating or even powering a concession trailer. It's great for limited use at a construction site, whether you're using a few tools or even a compressor. Overall, I'd say it's a great buy. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them and I'll answer them as best I can. Thanks for watching.